Has your party ever stumbled into a rundown village or a roadside inn, completely ragged and soaked to the bone after a stormy week, and then slapped their buttered hams onto a welcoming mattress? Well then, my friend, this would be a perfect night to exercise your knowledge of vampires, and to teach you what a vampire's perfect midnight lunch run plan is. Normally, vampires end up getting attacked in their own castles by parties who've prepared to kill them. We've seen that, a lot. Vampires almost need to be weakened by external forces because of how cool they're meant to be, and even in stories, their deaths are caused by happenstance or planning, and not actually because the vampire's weak. Go watch, like, all of Part 2, or This Thing in Adventure Time, or this show. And then you'll know what I mean. Down the road, I might even try a Wamu-style confrontation where the party attacks during the day, maybe even siding with the vampire, but for now let's set up an ambush on a bushed party. Here's the inn that your party is hoping to enjoy a long rest at. Let's make these guys really quick. Facing a challenge rating 13. Add 1 vampire spawn, a second one, party of 3, carry the 2, save the pet dog. Let's make them level 15. I've got my randomized team, Bong Smoke the Wizard, Titty Slap the Ham-Boning Bard, and the only name I didn't actually have to change, Permo Cherry Cheeks, the Halfling Cleric. They're gonna need a cleric for this. Now for the vampire. Most of them like to set up a castle and a good stock of reliable food, but sometimes a new vampire is born and has to get that business actually started up. I think the easiest way to do this is to make our vampire an ex-thrall of another one who stole his master's blood, turning his own wife and hitting the road as quietly and quickly as possible. But now him and his little team are hungry, thirsty. So the party stops in, flirts with the innkeeper, and then goes to bed. This fledgling vampire shows up during his nightly travel and sees the opportunity. So let's get this thing started. They get a free round 1. Vampires have this ability that lasts for 1 hour, but is much better when activated outside, so we'll do that. Bing bang boom, and oh my god, there's 15 wolves. That's not my fault, we'll keep it. Now he has to get inside. With some soft taps on the door, the innkeeper wakes up at her desk and politely makes the largest mistake of her life. She opens the door. Vampires can't enter unless invited, but they can charm people they're looking at beforehand.
Oops, I'm hypnotized.
Forcing a friendship, but not directly forcing the upcoming invitation inside. Welcome now the vampire and his wife, the thrall that I mentioned before. We're gonna abuse this charm ability and have the vampire methodically and quietly gather up people and invite them to his birthday party, making forced friendships in bedrooms like a greasy Uncle Epstein. The new friends get to wait outside. We'll do this until he fails, which he did here per my rolls, and because this is a bard. We'll let the victim act first before the vampire pulls some real tactical shit. Our heroic ham-boner Titty Slap is gonna drop a 5th level dissonant whisper, probably subconsciously mumbling about his wet dream just before he woke up.
Mickey Mouse comes in, drains all my battery from my iPod.
That'll deal some psychic damage to me. But the vampire has crazy saves, and he gets like a 19.
Nope.
Back to our antagonist, who's right here. He goes mist mode and slips out the window to start the real attack. Noting the nasty stinky red mist, his gorgeous wife enters the tavern to make sure nobody weak escapes. To start of round 2, the bard absolutely blasts some ham-boning that wakes up the rest of our guests, and then probably waits for them because he's a bard. Outside, our vampire reverts his form and directs a chain of 15 wolves to bottleneck the hallway and really hammer in some DPS before the actual fight. Here's my initiative order so that you don't get too lost. The wizard, awake and baked, steps out to see the oncoming chain of wolves. Assuming that there's only like 5 wolves, Bong Smoke drops a 4th level magic missile, deleting 2 of them and injuring a 3rd. While the beloved wife waits at the door, our cleric is gonna fling open their own bravely, cherry cheeks freezing in the night wind. The group convenes, and understanding the gravity of the situation, Butterbum is gonna go ahead and cast Beacon of Hope. Also, the gnome steps out of his room, smelling like he might have definitely shit his pants. Round 3. Hambone slaps his jaw once to inspire the cleric and then perfectly performs the Pussy's Claire de Lune a cappella style. This 6th level sleep spell puts 6 wolves out of combat for now, turning it over to Draculicard. He spams the fart form ability and sneaks back into the stink gnome's room to perform a pincer attack in the next round. Oh, would you look at that, there's 8 wolves. Stumbling over their sleeping and dead friends, they can't even fucking reach the party without dashing. Isn't that exciting? But hey, the vampire's first move stole like 3 spell slots. The wizard's up again, and unfortunately in front. We've got some AoE spells, but to not wake anyone up, Bong Smoke's gonna rain down some daggers, effectively putting up a wall that insta-kills anything below 11 hit points, like a wolf. Great, I'm very glad that I had them as a part of this encounter. Let's have the wife fill in, using her spider climb to look super goddamn creepy. The cleric is up and will have these bright red glutes prepare a secret spell. The gnome goes back into his room and shuts the door to change his pants. Round 4. Titty Slap's ham boning resonates too hard and he casts Blink, effectively deleting himself from the combat. Finally, it's the villain's turn, reverting his form and regaining the legendary actions I definitely didn't forget about. At this point, the gnome is just gonna quietly cry in the corner as the vampire exits his room. Oops, the cleric prepared daylight, and that's going off now that the vampire is here. My favorite. That's gonna be 20 DPR to both my creepers and disadvantage for them. This spell doesn't even fucking need concentration. In response to that, legendarily, the vampire chomps his external carotid artery, managing to slurp some juice and end the beacon of hope. The wolves are gonna go ahead and just back down and stand there and wait. At this moment, Bong Smoke's head turns lazily, and he drops the absolute fattest power word stun I've ever seen. Oh my god, the vampire cannot even legendarily resist this. It's our wife's turn, and she instantly burns for 20 radiant damage before she rushes to attack Bong Smoke, taking an extra 12 damage from the blades before failing to give the pothead a hickey. Great, she ducks into this room, or whatever. Thank you, Daylight. Look, it's Cherry Cheeks, who is ruining my entire demonstration. They're gonna go ahead and find it appropriate to drop heaven itself on the vampire with an 8th level guiding bolt. I'm gonna screen cap this roll. Okay, that's not my fault, but I'm very happy. This is going on too long, I almost got lost. The gnome who changed his pants shits again. Titty Slap. He cracks open the door next to him and tells the vampire's wife about his medical problems, effectively performing an 8th level Dis Wisp. That's a fail, she's got 50 hit points, here's another live roll. Okay, she's been here for 12 seconds and she has 10 hit points left. I don't want to know what he said. The vampire's turn immediately gets wasted, but he breaks free from the bong stare with a legendary resistance and also takes 20 damage. The wolves are stuck, back to fucking... Why does the wizard have Sunbeam? Fuck the cleric.
What the fuck?
They both beat the save, take 15 damage, and the knives end. It's not the wizard's fault, he's high. Our good vampire friend legendarily hides in the room with the poop man from the sunlight. Our wife, who is also out of the sunlight, can't regain 10 hit points this turn, and fucking leaves through the window. Oh, look at that, our friend legendarily sucked up some poo man blood. Titty Slap returns from the other dimension and teleports into the vampire room. Wait, do bards have no attack roll spells? How did I not know this? No, who cares? 4th level spell goes off, legendary resistance, because it doesn't matter, and Titty Slap vanishes again. The annoyed vampire, who has essentially dealt and taken no damage, about to lose his wife, does the same thing that I'm gonna do. He throws up his hands, says fuck these absolute weirdos, and refuses to wait 1 hour for a 3rd level spell to end. I had this whole thing planned with his coffin outside under the tree with this thrall that was waiting there the whole time, and you didn't notice and he's right there. But nah. Fuck clerics, vampires suck ass, and he escapes with... Wait a minute. He escapes with 5 potential thralls, who will be challenge rating 5 in exactly 2 days after he buries them. Actually, that's kind of really cool. Vampires are absolutely awful in so many conventional ways, but Christ. He walked away with a major net gain and a wife who didn't even die. That was so lame, but... it's really scary. That's the video. I took a break there to set up, and now there's a dog's toes clacking around my house because I'm dog sitting. Thank you, Dax.